Hi, my name is Aaron Weaver. Welcome to Adirondack Guy. Today's video, if you haven't noticed by the title below, it's the subject of lust and love. Um, Love doesn't think about itself. Again, do you think about your friend, your wife, your children? Do you think about your pet's need before you think about your own needs? That's love. That's love. When you really love someone, you think about them first. You're second, they're first, and so that's important. To know the difference between love and lust. When you lust for something, it's like, oh no, it's me first, and I will worry about my needs before your needs. I mean, it's pretty simple to tell the difference. Um, Love isn't irritable. Uh, do you get angry very easily? I've heard of situations where people get very upset very easily when they think things aren't going right. Uh, and I myself, is part of patience. I know I have to work on this in my own personal life. I can be a perfectionist sometimes, and everything has to be in a certain way. And I'm thankful that I am learning to let things go, and I don't get upset as easily. And it's like I think that's part of wisdom, but I think love is also part of that, and that I'm more concerned about someone's well-being than something that is absolutely ridiculous to even worry about. Okay, let's see. Doesn't keep track of wrong. Do you keep records of people who have done wrong to you? Um, with people in your relationship, a lot of people get married and they're like, oh, it begins all happy, but then there's all these quirks, and then there are these things that they've done wrong to you, and etc., etc. Yeah, there are some things that are very extreme that maybe you should think twice about in a relationship, but in many cases, they're just little tidbits that's just build up, and it's not them, it's you. You have a problem. And so, yeah, and one of the problems when you know you have a problem is when you're keeping a list of things wrong about that other person that you wish to have a relationship with. If that's the case, then really, are you in that relationship for them, or are you in that relationship for yourself? Is it love or is it lust? Um, Love isn't happy when injustice is done. Now that's interesting. Uh, a good way to explain that is, let's say, one of the Ten Commandments, which I find very interesting, is a lot of people say, "Thou shalt not lie." Well, the correct version is, You will not give false witness against somebody else." I think that's the most simple translation. And when you give a false witness against someone else that will go against them, that's injustice. And so love is basically, let's say, someone that you have a relationship with, or somebody that is being falsely accused wrong. You will stand up for them to the end. You'll be willing to die for them. You're willing to sacrifice your life. I think the scripture talks about there's no greater love than this, than someone who's willing to give up their life for a friend. And now that's love. If you lust after somebody and they get in trouble by the law, even though they haven't done anything wrong, you just stay away from this. It's like, no, I don't want to get involved with this. No, I'm just involved for my own personal needs. I do not want to get involved with big, sticky issues. So that's another thing. You believe in justice. You want what is done right for those who you care for, and also for those that you don't care for, even your worst enemies. Uh, if you stand for justice, that is part of what Jesus called loving your enemies. That doesn't mean that you have to like them, but love is an action of standing for justice. And besides, if they don't get justice, what makes you think that when it becomes your turn that you also get justice? So there's a little selfishness in there, I guess. But yeah, it does involve with many other things like that. Love is happy with the truth. Again, the that involves with justice. You're happy when someone's being honest with you. You're happy when you are honest with someone else. That's part of vulnerability between relationships, which is a whole nother topic. But yeah, that's important. Love never stops being patient, never stops believing, never gives up. Love never comes to an end. Lust does come to an end. That's a big difference when you know you love someone or you lust someone. If somebody leaves you or breaks up a relationship with you and you have a great pain in your soul, and it's not that because you've lost a relationship that could have benefit for your own, you hurt because you really had a passion for this person, or your dog died and passed away, or a family member, or a cat or a pet or whatever, and it hurts you, their family, they become much closer to you and you cared about them more than yourself. That's love. That's very much love. And that is not lust. With lust, it's like, oh, well, that's one less person to worry about. Let's find the next person to help fulfill my need. That's lust. A lot of people say, well, isn't lust looking at a woman or a man or something, and it builds up your sexual desires? Not really. You could be attracted to somebody and not be lustful, because there are things that we all are attracted to. I mean, look at my house. If you do, I'm attracted to a certain style, but that doesn't make me lust for it. I'm not going to go beyond my means to have it. So that's the difference. I mean, you can find a woman very attractive, you can find a guy very attractive, or you can find a puppy really cute, or a kitten really adorable, and you want to love and cuddle it. That's not lust. Lust is fulfilling your own selfish desires, and there are things that are natural, and then there are things that are unnatural. Lust is unnatural, and it all goes back to the idea of when sin came into this world, everything that God created was corrupted. And so lust is the corruption of passionate love. So, and sometimes it's hard to tell the difference and that's why we're going through this verse, so that when we look at this verse, we're self-examining ourselves and we're like, oh, okay. Well, then I now know that I don't love this person. I actually lust after them. So love never ends. It doesn't. It never ends. Even though the relationship is broken, they left you, it doesn't end. You are forever hurt. And there are some people in your lives that you'll jump right back in, even though it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. But you may want to jump back into a relationship and start all over again because you love them. So, like I said, this is something that we need to remind ourselves, the difference between love and lust. Keep in mind, even though you love someone and they don't, this is a good way to examine other people with this verse. When you're in a relationship, do they love you back, or do they lust for you? It's not always sexual, but do they lust for you? Is everything in this verse, are they following, and are you following? If both of you are following everything in this verse of what love is, then you're in a great relationship. But if not, then you might want to think twice. Okay. I think I said enough. Thank you very much for watching this. And I hope you guys have a good day. And I'll admit, I'm not 100% right about everything, but this is my personal viewpoint, and I'm sharing it with you to help you to become a much wiser person and to develop common sense or logic into your lives. I think it's very important that we need in our country today that we do lack. All right. Until then, have a good day. Bye-bye.